If you've ever stood up quickly and suddenly felt dizzy, lightheaded, or like the room briefly shifted around you, you're definitely not alone. Sometimes it lasts just a second. Sometimes it feels like your vision dims, your balance disappears, or your body needs a moment to catch up. And what confuses a lot of people is how random it can feel. You stand up one day and feel completely normal. The next day, you rise from the couch and suddenly feel unsteady, floaty, or weirdly disconnected for a few seconds. What's actually happening there is more interesting than most people realize, because in many cases, the dizziness itself is not the real problem. It's the speed of adjustment happening inside your body. When you stand up, gravity suddenly pulls blood downward into your legs and lower body. Your body has to react almost instantly. Your blood vessels tighten, your heart rate adjusts, your blood pressure shifts, and your brain has to keep receiving enough blood flow during that transition. Normally, this correction happens so fast you never notice it. But when that adjustment lags behind even slightly, you can suddenly feel dizzy, faint, off balance, or mentally foggy for a moment. That's why people often describe it as a head rush. It's basically a temporary mismatch between movement and circulation. And interestingly, the dizziness often feels worse when people stand up after lying down for a while, especially after sleeping, resting on the couch, or sitting in one position too long. Your system has been relaxed. Then suddenly it has to switch gears very quickly. For some people, the sensation is mild. For others, it can feel surprisingly intense. Some people notice a brief spinning sensation, a wave of imbalance, tunnel vision, a strange floating feeling, or even that whoa sensation where it feels like your body moved faster than your brain expected. And sometimes the emotional reaction becomes part of the cycle too, because once you've felt that sudden drop before, you start anticipating it. You become cautious when standing. You brace yourself. You stand slower. Or you become hyper-aware of every little sensation afterward. That doesn't mean the symptom is imaginary. It just means the nervous system remembers unpleasant balance sensations very well. And there are certain situations where this standing up dizziness becomes more likely. Dehydration is a big one. Even mild dehydration can reduce blood volume enough to make these transitions feel rougher. Skipping meals can also contribute. So can overheating, exhaustion, poor sleep, illness, stress, or long periods of inactivity. Some people notice it more after scrolling on the couch for an hour and then suddenly jumping up. Others notice it after workouts, hot showers, or during stressful periods where the body already feels overstimulated. And there's another detail many people overlook. Sometimes the problem isn't just blood pressure, it's sensitivity. Your nervous system may simply become more reactive to normal body sensations. So instead of smoothly ignoring tiny shifts in circulation and balance, your brain starts paying attention to them. That's when people begin describing sensations like, I feel slightly off for a few seconds. My body feels delayed when I stand. It's not exactly spinning, but something feels strange. And that distinction matters, because dizziness is not always one single sensation. For some people, it's faintness. For others, it's imbalance. For others, it's motion sensitivity, rocking sensations, visual shifts, or a brief feeling of disorientation. The word dizzy can actually describe a lot of different experiences. And one reason these symptoms feel so unsettling is because balance happens automatically when it's working properly. You normally never think about it. So the moment that automatic stability changes, even briefly, your brain immediately notices. That's why short episodes can still feel emotionally significant, especially if they happen repeatedly. Now, occasional dizziness from standing too fast is extremely common. But if it's happening frequently, getting stronger, causing falls, or coming with symptoms like chest pain, fainting, severe weakness, or neurological changes, it's important to speak with a healthcare professional. Because sometimes persistent positional dizziness can involve circulation issues, medication effects, inner ear problems, nervous system patterns, or other medical causes that deserve proper evaluation. And one thing people often find reassuring is realizing that the symptom itself usually follows patterns. It's rarely as random as it first seems. There's often a trigger, a timing pattern, a body position, a stress connection, a hydration issue, or a sensitivity pattern underneath it. And once you start noticing those patterns, the symptom often feels less mysterious and less frightening. Because dizziness tends to feel worse when your brain interprets it as unpredictable. If you've been trying to figure out your own dizziness pattern, balance symptoms, or motion sensitivity triggers, there's also a symptom quiz linked below. Because dizziness symptoms can come from very different underlying patterns, the quiz can help narrow down what may be contributing to your specific experience. And sometimes just putting the pieces together changes how you experience the symptom itself, especially when you realize your body may not be failing the way it first felt. It may simply be struggling to adjust quickly in certain situations.